and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, the 14th day of May, third day of Sivan. Today I wanted to spend our halacha learning about Akdomus. Akdomus is basically a sort of piyut, or sort of a poem written in Aramaic that we will be reciting on the first morning of Shavuos. It was written almost 1,000 years ago, back in the beautiful community of Worms in Germany, I think it was, and it basically describes the beautiful relationship between Hashem and the Jewish people and Torah. So of course it's very significant to Shavuos, and it didn't really start becoming regularly said in a lot of shuls till about 500 years ago, and I think it's mostly Ashkenazic shuls that have strongly adopted doing it on the first morning of Shavuos. It's written in Aramaic. It's quite hard to translate, but to anyone who's scholarly, there are beautiful message in every single line of Akdomus, and every single line ends with Taf Aleph. So it's da 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 sa, next line da 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 sa. That's how Aramaic words sometimes end. And the Taf Aleph that's at the end of each line also is significant because it shows Taf, the last letter of the Aleph base, and then back to Aleph, the first letter of the Aleph base, which is the way we are when we learn Torah. We finish our beloved Sefer, or whatever it is that we're learning in Torah, and we also begin right back and say Chazak, Chazak. So it's showing all those beautiful messages that are so appropriate to Shavuos. Originally, they used to insert it in a very interesting way. They would lane the first sentence of the Torah reading, and then they would stop and insert Akdomus right there. Uh, the reason for doing the custom that way was because way back when, there were times when the people would have the Balkore read one sentence of the laning of the Torah reading, and then someone would translate next sentence, and someone would translate. So putting Akdomus in right there after one sentence seemed appropriate back then. Now in our age, nobody does that, so therefore the custom kind of switched a little bit, and everybody changed out of doing it after, which seemed like an interruption in Torah reading, to read one pasuk of the Torah and then stop and say Akdomus. So now we do it a little different. We do it right before the first aliyah makes the bracha on the first aliyah, and we insert it right there, and we say Akdomus then. A little bit sadly, what happens is that a lot of people who stay up all night the first night of Shavuos are very tired if they daven at that 5 o'clock minyan on Shavuos morning, and people have all these like groggy recollections of doing Akdomus, but it's not something that we should be groggy about or uninterested in, even though it's hard to translate, because it's a beautiful, beautiful piyut, like poem type of thing, showing Hashem and His people and His Torah. If you do not stay up all night Shavuos night, and you are wide awake for Shavuos morning davening, going to like a 9 o'clock minyan, then yeah, hopefully you'll appreciate Akdomus even more because you'll be wide awake, I hope. So please give Akdomus the beautiful attention and respect that it deserves, because it is in some ways the most famous piyut of all of them, because of the beauty of how it describes Hashem and His people and His Torah. So yeah, now you know a little bit more about Akdomus. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Shabbos, and log on again after Shabbos when it will be Erev Shavuos, and we'll try to give you one more law about Shavuos then. And then, of course, I'll be offline for the 2 days of Shavuos, and then we'll do another one on Tuesday night going into Wednesday. Good Shabbos.